there now, you're gonna see the second finger and put 1, 2 together, 3, 2, 3 together. And then go over with a natural now. Now the third finger on the A is now back, it's a roll, right? It's right across, so you just roll, okay? Then, and then slide down. Now you shift. I want you to shift that 3-3 though, okay? So your turn. Play just that phrase. Oops. So you have a few different finger guides, right? First one is using your 2 for your 3 on your E. When you go down, don't forget 1, 2 together. So you got actually the first one is your 3 to the 4th finger, right? And then your 2 to the 3, and then your 1 to the 2, right? So then you have these, right? You got that note, and this one, and then this one, right? So when you play it, what I'm talking about is here, right? So, right here. I actually vibrato with 2 fingers, don't I? I do, right? So that helps you look for that note, because you're sometimes a little iffy, or you don't not sure where to put the 4th finger or the 3rd finger in 3rd position for some reason sometimes, right? So just use a finger guide, you know, and then you can vibrato, right? You can vibrato 2 fingers, okay? So then do it again. So from there, so here, right? I don't roll because it's the second finger, 1, 2, 2, 3 together. Roll. See how I roll? So here you have a neighbor guide and a finger guide. The neighbor is the 3rd finger. You have to roll into it, right? So here is the neighbor guide. I use 2, 3, you see? And I let go. I use 2, 3, but then I let go so I can use vibrato. So, and then I roll. And then I use a finger guide. You didn't realize that, but I use a finger guide right there. I actually place my second, and then I let go when I vibrato. I always sound check, right? One, 2 together. You see? 1, 2, right? And I even vibrato. Look, I let go. I let go and vibrato. I don't. You know what I mean? I can do both. Some people do both. I like to vibrato without an extra finger because it's a wider, faster vibrato. If I do this, it's narrow. It's like only the fingers. Here, I get my wrists and everything. Okay? So in tune. That's the purpose of this. To be more in tune. To be where you're not having to figure it out blindly. Just put a finger down, right? You're actually using guides, right? And within that, you don't have to think about it all the time. Right now, you're trying to think about it because you got to process it in your head. But once you keep doing it, you're just going to be like me. I automatically have a finger guide and a roll and all that in there. It's all built in. I don't know how I do it, but because I'm so used to it now, I put it in every finger, in every piece, like that. I do the same kind of thing without having to explain it to you. To explain to you, I have to think about it. But in actuality, I don't forget about it. It's part of me already, right? But for you, sometimes when you're out of tune, it's because of knowing where to put your finger. And this is to help you, right? So now do it in time. Make sure you're out a little bit because your scroll was way dipped down. I couldn't see a lot of your fingers at all. I only saw the top part, okay? There you go. Okay, great. So now that's so clean. It's so clear, right? Okay. So the next part, you just stay there. You're in fourth, in the second position, right? You're in second position because of 3, right? So. Now this third finger, you see the sharp, you think you need to stretch further. It's not. It's just a normal stretch, isn't it? Because the natural in the beginning of the line is now back to a sharp. It's just back to the key, okay? So don't look at that sharp and think you have to stretch further. It's just the normal sharp that you had before. Now you're just putting it back, right? So here. And I split these so that you can have a full 3 count on one bow so you don't run out of bow, right? So remember that. 2, 3. And stay there. So I did the crescendo where the crescendo is supposed to be, right? The main thing is to have enough bow right there. So I dig. You see that line on top before the note, the third finger? I really dig to get to the frog. So right there, that line on top, put FR. Just to remind you, you're trying to get to the frog. That's the point of that long note. So you can get to the frog. So you can conserve bow and play these 6 counts. It's really long. Okay. Okay, so now play the second phrase. Okay, very good. But this time, B has to be a little bit than A. A was a little bit soft. B has to be just a little bit louder, right? Okay, so here, this is A. This is this piano. Everything's very peaceful, constant bow. The bow speed doesn't change. But that 4 at B is a little bit louder because it's coming out from the crescendo from the scale. So you got, that's why I split the bow. Didn't you see that? The bow used to be 3 bow, just like the beginning. But instead, I made 1 semper bow and then 2 slur. You see that? Purposely to make it louder. Not loud, like so loud, it's just a mezzo forte. Now I get softer because of the, see the piano? The crescendo, right? So now I'm gonna get soft. I'm gonna grow. Right here. Top note louder, and then taper off. So much going on in that one phrase. Again, do the same thing. Soft. Grow on la half note. Long. Control the bow speed. Slow down now. I'm not run out. Right? So I'm talking while I'm playing, but you can see how I'm thinking. My plan is, right? at the second phrase, I have to quiet down. If not, I can never get to the crescendo. The crescendo is already done because I play so loud, a little too loud on the B, right? So put a P at the beginning of that crescendo so that you know to get softer all of a sudden and then grow again, right? So think of the wave getting soft and then get louder. Wave, okay? So go ahead, your turn. Play both phrases. Okay, so a few things to note. Don't play, you see the long measure before C? It's a dotted half with a half. Don't play any longer than a half at the end. If not, you're going to be off time, and then you're going to try to rush. You'll be off on the next measure with the piano. Okay, so make sure you da 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 da. Right. So it's only a half dotted, and then follow by a half. Don't do it the same. Okay. Good job. Don't worry about it getting fuzzy because it's PP. It's like PP at the end of there. It's different. We've never played PP. We always play P, right? Okay, let's do it again. To do fall. To get it loud. Okay? Crescendo. Your turn. So play from PP to the end of that, okay? Get it louder, right? See, that's how you make that crescendo, right? And play beginning of B and end at D, okay? So it gives you a lot of time. It's not right away. So you have to hear, it goes, let you hear again, and then you listen to when I come in, okay? So listen to the piano change, what chord it plays, okay? See the chord change? So you're gonna hear, okay, your turn. See if you learn something. Oh, you're late. You're too long with that note. So but at least you did it to that far. You didn't mess up until then, right? So again, the 2 count for the half note, not 3 counts, right? See? So maybe circle the rest, just to remind you not to play past the rest. Okay? Good job on coming in. That was exactly. Oops. You froze. Hello? Uh-oh. You froze for a minute there. Okay, so we're back. Okay, so you circle the rest. Now, come in again. This time, make sure you're in tune. Make sure those finger guides are in place, because I did see 1/3 finger. You just stretched out there. You didn't use the second finger. Okay, so, and it was a little bit on tune, wasn't it? Just a little bit, right? Okay, so do it again. Good job coming in. That's the hardest part, is just knowing when to come in. Stop there for a minute. So what did I pause you? Because you stopped the bow speed, right? You actually stopped at the half note, that last measure, and then you played da, 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 right? You didn't go da, carried it on, da, make it legato. Don't separate. There's no dot on top of that second eighth note, right? Da, 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 da. Duh, duh. You pause. You had a pausing in your bow. The speed needs to continue. Okay. So that's one thing. Just I want you to make that darker, the top slur. So you're choosing the top slur. You're not playing the bottom slur, right? The bottom slur is an option. We don't play the bottom slur. We play the top slur. Okay. So when you see that, you know it's an option, right? You have an option of playing it separate, 3 notes, 3 bows, or play it with 2 bow. You got it? You understand? Okay, so do it again. Make sure you continue the bow speed. Make sure you play it a little bit louder than the beginning, right? The piano pushes you because it's louder too, isn't it? Okay, we stop there a little bit. That sharp is a little bit, needs to be just a little higher. If you can tune it into that note, use the piano. Okay, do da 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 da. It's like a chord, right? So it should help you be more in tune by just adjusting it. Okay, don't stay flat. Adjust while you're playing. So do it again, but this time put that in there. So put a circle or put an arrow or something at the sharp, but not to make it where it's so sharp. It's just a little bit. Okay? Remember to be piano right there. It's different than being a B at the beginning. Oh, you can stop there for a minute. We didn't tell you to go past that, but you got the idea. You see how piano is piano? You have to get piano anyways because you're writing on a bow and you're at the tip, right? So it makes sense to play the next phrase piano, right? Almost ghostly piano, right? So very good. Now, preparing for that, you definitely need to work on that measure with those two halves, dotted notes, because you have to control your bow and have enough bow. Because I was just telling you that you might have this bow for 6 count, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to have more bow. Okay, so don't get to the end and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting there, and then you rush, right? Or stop. You don't want to stop. The note is a slur. Okay, don't stop. Okay, so let's work on that. Okay, da, 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 da. Now we're gonna think of the piano in our head. Da, da, da. See how we have a timing right there? 1:46. We're gonna come in right there. Okay, so it should give you enough time. Okay. It should sound like the beginning, doesn't it? So 1:46 is like the beginning. Okay. So your turn. Starting from there. Yeah. Good.